1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Saliba.
Guys, stop it.
But Arsenal are 35 games away from winning the Premier League title.
That's beautiful banter.
But have you not been impressed with Arsenal?
Well, I must confess, I've been very impressed with Arsenal. The thing that impresses me most has to be their mentality. I think that we are seeing a different Arsenal in terms of mentality. You know, the striking things about teams that have always done well is their fortitude. I mean, earlier on, you guys were talking about the Eastern Europeans and their mental fortitude. I think that Arteta has done a fantastic job instilling a lot of mental belief into this team. As to whether they can win the league, that's another story.
You know, the last time they actually won the first 3 games of the Premier League season was 2003-2004. You know, that particular season, Arsenal also played the first 3 games unchanged. 2021, 2022, 2023.
But history is very important.
History is very important. And you know,
we know where Kofi stands when it comes to Arsenal. He believes that this is just one of those.
But hey,
I think
hailstorms that will pass.
I think relatively they are still untested.
No, top of the table, playing with some swagger, and they found a rhythm. You don't think they're
playing against Crystal Palace, Leicester
City,
Bournemouth.
Leicester City.
Those are not enough tests.
Come on,
Leicester City. Everybody knows. Their issues are very much chronicle. They didn't sign a single player. They're going to. There's a lot of mental issues. A lot of players. But where do you think Arsenal won the game yesterday?
I think first of all, if City could go to the bank, I think they need to go collect extra cash for what they took from Gabi Jesus.
Yeah.
Arsenal have got a good bargain from that particular move.
Very good bargain.
To think of the fact that they missed out on Vlahovic in January, and then Gabi Jesus comes to the window. He looks a man at home. Yeah. You look at the first goal.
Yeah.
That was all by himself.
His hold-up play has been excellent all throughout Arsenal's,
so you guys are not looking at this dynamic, what if he gets injured?
That's the thing.
I don't think
let's not speak to that because
even just a little thing about
Eddie Nketiah can slot in that room.
Eddie did an exceptional job in the tail end of last season.
But repeat it.
But let's not. We will get to that bridge when we cross it. But I look at that game or their game yesterday against Bournemouth, and they played away from home. When you are playing away from home, the dynamics is different. The ability to take the game to Bournemouth, the ability to, open up Bournemouth with ease at every single possession. They control the game, and the partnership between Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey is beginning to become one of the best central midfield positions.
No, you speak of Xhaka,
early days. That's what we are seeing, and so we need to talk about it.
Look at him this season; he's been given that license
to go forward, and that's and it's unlocking certain abilities that a lot of people do not know.
He produced an assist in the previous game. He scored.
Granit Xhaka. Yeah.
When you guys talk about unlocking, I just get reminded of Pogba.
You understand? The guy could never crack the code.
But no, listen. I mean, if you situate this whole conversation contextually, Arsenal have always been a team that plays decent football. I mean, in the past, under Wenger, they were at a point called a miniature Barcelona. They play beautiful football.
As well.
They play the kind of football that pleases the eye. But I think that the difference between this Arsenal team and maybe the Arsenal teams of old, like I said, has to be the mentality. Because you see, Arsenal teams of old will dilly-dally when opponents were at their mercy.
Be specific. Arsenal teams of old, within which era? Because even under Wenger, there were serious Arsenal teams.
And
the Vieira team, the Wilton team, the Henry team.
Exactly. Make reference to that particular.
I look at this team 3 games into the season, yes, you could say against.
But you look at this team, you can mirror the 2003-2004.
No, I don't think.
No, it probably might be early days.
That's a debate. Probably we can have.
You can find Thierry Henry in that particular team.
The quality in that team. Who is the Thierry Henry?
You can find that in Gabi Jesus.
Oh, come on.
Look, you look at that Lorraine partnership you found at the back. You can find Saliba.
Dave, let's not go there.
Partey is doing the Vieira job.
2003 Arsenal team is. I'm trying to. The only team that can be that United 1918 that can rival that team.
Not even Liverpool 2000.
No,
please, no.
no. The
probably
Arsenal team, the only blood.
Probably we could look at that on the React.
Was not winning the Champions League.
Anyway,
I think we can look at that on the React.
A quick one. Let's move forward. Do you think Arsenal have convinced you with the 3 games they played that I told you they are amongst the dark horses? Do you still believe?
No, I don't think they are.
You don't think if City don't win it, if Liverpool don't win it?
I don't think they are horses. You understand?
Let me repeat or reiterate.
You don't think
if City don't win it, if Liverpool don't win it, Spurs, Arsenal, these 2 teams are picking up the title.
No, I don't think Arsenal are genuine title contenders.
Anyway,
you look at the league table now.
They're top of the table, but
they're top of the table. But
and this is the first time Arsenal.
There's Newcastle there. I can see some other teams, unfamiliar teams there. But the point is that between now and May, there's going to be a lot of reshuffling.
Anyway, Dave, we are talking about title contenders. Chelsea are part of the title contenders. They were Jesse Marsh literally.
Are they?
Which Chelsea?
Come on, Thomas.
The Chelsea that we saw at Elland Road.
Did they? Watching today's game, did they prove or show you that they can or will be title contenders?
Let's go back to Wednesday. Yeah. We spoke about the frailties of that defense, whether they would have enough pace. And Brendan Aronson, Jack Harrison, Rodrigo Moreno,
they literally run rings around that defense with ease. And the swiftness with which they move the ball, I think Jesse Marsh had studied this defense, realized that if we are quick in transition.
Good analysis of this particular team. That's the frailties you can highlight.
Because Leeds were quick in transition at every single possession.
If you watch Leeds, even the game they played before today, they worked there, they pressed the opponent into making mistakes, and that's exactly. I think Chelsea were surprised.
They were not expecting Leeds to play this way.
I honestly think that Chelsea were surprised, and for me, I still think that if Chelsea don't solve the striking department issues, they are going to struggle big time.
Before I used to think that defense was solid, but you look at what happened today. I don't think Chelsea just need to strengthen that attack. That defense.
No, but you see, you do not lose a player like
Kante.
You do not lose, not even that. You do not lose a player like Rudiger,
and you don't get to
replay. That's why they are so much after Fofana, hoping that they could sign him.
They actually need to drop the level of age there, because you look at Khalidou Koulibaly.
Fofana is just around 23, 22, 23. So for me, their pursuit of Fofana makes a lot of sense. Exactly. I think if they've paid, they are paying huge money, 60 for 45,
97 for Lukaku.
Exactly. So why not pay the 80? Brendan Rodgers and Leicester City are asking for.
But Maguire's record.
But let's look at Sterling.
Before you get to Sterling, you look at that Chelsea defense. Is Maguire the panacea to the problem?
I think that's just a rumor which will not suffice. No, it's not true. I'm tempted to believe that it's just one of those transfer.
Maguire is the solution, man.
It's just one of those crazy transfer rumors. But just days before the game today, Sterling had an interview with Sky Sports where he spoke extensively about his time at
City.
Bitterly. Let me use the word bitterly about his time for City. We saw him here in this afternoon. Will Sterling at least be able to even hit 15 goals, league goals? Looking at this so far, his input and his output at City.
I think, to be fair to Sterling, he's not had the sort of service he's used to having. You look at this Chelsea midfield; they lack that knack of creativity.
There's nobody even that knows how to,
push the ball,
break the line passes.
Yeah. You might say their best bet had to be Mateo
Kovacic. Who, when he comes in, he will bring some difference. For
some unfortunate reasons, he's had to be out. And so you look at this Chelsea team; they are struggling because N'Golo Kante was out.
But David, I disagree with you. I mean, hold it right there. The issue is simple. Yes, I agree that there's not been enough service. When he's had service, what has he done with it?
That is what somebody was.
An offside goal today.
No, but that is what somebody was asking during his time at City.
I honestly think Chelsea didn't need Sterling.
Exactly.
He's damaged.
During our preview, I spoke about it.
At 27, you think he's played his best football.
I've told you that I don't think he's going to hit the height he hit at City. No.
But if you want Tuchel, he's been trying to play. I recommended that he tried using Mason Mount as a nine. If you watch the 2 games that he's played as a false nine. I think gradually he's working his way into that position.
They still need a striker.
I'm beginning to feel towards Kofi's thought that they still need a striker
because good
if they have
when they have a central, because he's
focal point.
He's enjoyed the best part of his playing days out wide, either from the right, either from the left, coming in, joining as a third man, particularly after the striker has probably missed that opportunity. That's where his strength lies. But they're asking Sterling to go toe to toe with defenders, asking him to be the man the team looks up to. I don't think Sterling. But I think we need to
cut them some slack, because I think the man that literally at some point unlocked that Chelsea midfield was Mateo Kovacic. Yeah. He's out now. Kovacic is one of those press-resistant players in the world. There are very few players who
knows how
are
to use
easily
the ball.
Press-resistant, and he's like that. You can never press Kovacic and win the ball away from him. One of them is Casemiro. That's the truth. One of them is Casemiro. But I think they are missing him. That is where we also talk about squad in depth. Chelsea do not have squad in depth in almost every year. In almost every
there was no cover for
Gallagher will not do that job. Clearly, that tells you that Chelsea need to sign well.
He's best placed up front. You look at Palace.
Now you understand why they want to go for De Jong. Because De Jong would have fitted perfectly into this team in the absence of the two.
And I think you could play De Jong in the position Jorginho plays in.
And Jorginho, he's been not productive in the 3 games that Chelsea have played.
Has he actually been productive at all?
You know, metronomes of his nature.
He's always quick to assign all of.
No, but it's true. He's a proper metronome. He's a proper register. An Italian, deep line
music class.
What?
This ain't a music class.
Oh, but I feel he has not hit the heights that we saw him in the Champions League final and even last 2 seasons for Chelsea. For some reason, I think that the energy around this entire Chelsea's team is a bit low, with the fact that Tuchel complaining about inability to sign players and everything surrounding the club. But let's see what happens.
But speaking of energies, Eddie Howe has changed Newcastle.
What do you make of the game today?
Well, I think Eddie Howe is a great manager.
Future England manager.
I think he's big. He's bigger than the England job.
So future Manchester United manager?
It could be. I won't be too surprised.
But he's a good manager. Actually, he's a good manager.
I concur.
Listen, if you go back and look at the job he had to do at Bournemouth, and with the budgets that he worked on,
working with,
and the miracles, yes, I mean, in his last season with Bournemouth, things did not really go right, and all of that. He had to take a break away from football. You see, when Newcastle were looking for a manager, they scouted the world over. I think that having to get him, Newcastle are literally the richest club in the world.
Yeah, not literally. They are the richest club in the world.
So, if you are putting all of that faith in that manager, and for me, he's worked a lot of miracles. I rate managers, 1, on your ability to transform what already is. And if you look at the job he's done on somebody like Joel Linton,
exactly, he came in with a hefty price.
Exactly. If you look at the squad,
he didn't even this season. They didn't even do a lot of people were anticipating that because of their huge budgets, they'll be signing a lot of players
to fill in the right spots.
Yes, Bruno Guimaraes.
He's look at Botman for that defense. Newcastle perennially have struggled, particularly with goals. They brought in Botman. He shows up that defense. Dan Ben has got good.
Dan Ben played great this
But
afternoon.
The game itself, Kofi. The game itself, what do you make of the entire game?
Well, I think that these are 2 super clubs in the sense of
the production.
No, in the sense of the finances. You understand? I mean, I think the 2 super clubs, they sold a great game for the neutrals. I mean, City going ahead, Newcastle all of a sudden be kicked into.
But to be 3-1 down. And it talks about Kofi was talking about mental fault.
Mentality of the best
Pep Guardiola has really transmitted quite a lot to that
guy, Kevin De Bruyne. He keeps
defying the odds.
It's unfortunate we find Kevin De Bruyne doing the kind of things he's doing now.
But it's sad that he's in a generation of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But I feel post these 2 players, we should be talking about.
I've always pitied somebody like Iniesta, Xavi, and now Kevin De Bruyne.
Because
I think that these players, were worthwhile to be Ballon
Look at
d'Or
that
winners.
pass he gave, Ike Gundogan. But
City, their mentality, they are mental monsters.
I think that is what
one
will
thing
carry
we've
them.
seen lately. You go back to last season where they nearly lost the title at the London Stadium.
Exactly.
If that was pre-Pep Guardiola City,
They would have capitulated easily.
That would have been a game where you feel like, okay, this is done and dusted, rubber stamped. But they go off, come back with a different energy, come back. At 3-1, you would have said that's game set match for Newcastle. But you look at the way the entire team...
And they were not panicking.
No.
They were not panicking. They were just playing it because they knew at the back of their mind,
we had to
we
do
are
this.
better than these guys.
Yeah.
So we've seen City. I think there will be a lot of games like this, but your ability to, run through the mill in the midst of all of this.
But in all of this, I think that we need to give a lot of credit to Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
I think he's made St. James's Park a fortress again.
Okay.
If you go back to last season, only Liverpool and City have taken points at the St. James's Park.
More than,
exactly.
and even the entire all the teams. If you take away City and Liverpool, Newcastle are the third club to have amassed more points. So we've seen great games. Hopefully we'll see another great game tomorrow.
Yep.
But I think on a whole we've been served with great football over the weekend.
Are you going to be battered tomorrow?
Which one?